Good evening, folks. This is gonna be my last video for the night. This is Lincoln Kenobi here, and today we are going to discuss Alan Ritchson. That's right, the man that is starring in Reacher, the man that's about to be going in an upcoming movie with Henry Cavill, the Ministry, the Ungently Manner. I keep forgetting the title's name, bro. It is so embarrassing, bro. It's just a long ass title. That's the problem. But here is the thing, dude. I mean, he's a good actor. I'm gonna give him that. He's a good actor, but with what he has said and what he has done to himself now, it's probably gonna ruin the Reacher. Maybe his chance to be Batman. Alan, man, what the hell are you doing, dude? What the fuck are you doing? So let's read this article. And this is a shout out to Tom. Let me see. Wait. You know, I should have put this on the phone. But I'm gonna get it on the phone right now, which won't take me long. Okay, let's see. Because we got it here in our saved profile. Tom Fitton. I'm gonna shout out to him, bro, because he's the one that put out this article out there, and this is from Hollywood Reporter. So, shouting out to him, bro. So let's discuss this report from Hollywood Reporter. All right. So, all right. The title is "The High Highs and Low Lows of Alan Ritchson." Reacher shot him into Hollywood's top tier, but behind that success, the 41-year-old reveals in an unusually candid interview was harrowing struggle with bipolar disorder, sexual assault, and suicide attempt that he survived with a mix of faith, love, and brute force. All right, so that I did not know. Tattoos are a relatively new obsession of Alan Ritchson. His collection is growing, and each top piece is thoughtfully selected. There is a lotus on his wrists to honor his wife of 17 years, Kat. She's the flower, I'm undoubtedly the mud, he says. There are separate tattoos inspired by the couple's 3 young boys, a peaceful dove for Caleb, an abstract flame of Eden, and a crest with a shield and swords of Amory. There's massive skull with a crown on his bicep, and another down the way inspired by Richard Gere remake of the Japanese movie Hachiko, about a faithful dog that is meant to symbolize loyalty and devotion. All right. So right now I'm just reading this, and they're discussing about tattoos right now. So I'm just going to read this whole article and see where this goes. All right. Well, the newest one finished during a 16-hour session in February in Toronto on a day off from filming Reacher, the Prime Video juggernaut that has made him one of Hollywood's most in-demand leading man is just for him. It serves as a permanent reminder of what happened during his darkest days and who he is now as a result of surviving a near-fatal incident. The tattoo features the 2 overlapping masks the ancient Greeks used to represent comedy and tragedy, joy mixed with pain. Tattoos, I realize, are very much an opportunity for me to tell my story and the things that matter most to me. Family, the story of my wife and our connection. What loyalty means to me. Faith, but this right here, he says, rubbing the skin of his forearm, is as close as I'll get to a personal identity. It has a dual meaning for me in the extremes. The happy, the sad, the ups and the downs. As somebody who lives with bipolar and ADHD on a daily basis. Being bipolar has wreaked havoc on my life many, many times. I would wish it away if I could, but it's so much a part of who I am now that I should celebrate it a little, or at least to accept it. Ritchson started getting the majority of the ink only in the past couple of years after the breakout success of Reacher, and after the breakdown he refers to as his existential crisis Mental health is an everyday conversation for me, he says. I was just texting my psychiatrist on the way over here from my daily check in, and she asked, "How are you?" I was like, "I'm great." That to her, it's not always a good sign. Are you really too great? Life has never been better for Alan Richardson. He arrives at West Hollywood's Blackwood Coffee Bar on an early morning in March, at a time where there are billiards across Los Angeles featuring his work. Some are supervised to promote the second season of Reacher, the series that made him famous, playing a muscular savant who kicks ass in spectacular fashion. Others promote a turn as a sensitive family man, hell bent on saving his daughter from a fatal disease in the faith-based tear-jerker Ordinary Angels. Opposite two-time Oscar winner Hilary Swank. By the time this is published, his face will be high up with the two Henrys, Cavill and Golding, advertising a guns-blazing actioneer from Guy Ritchie called "The Ministry of Ungently Manly Warfare." That's the title it was called. God. A film that finds him annihilating as Nazis, with fists and feet, but mostly bow and arrow. Life looks good on him too. Richardson, 41, stands 6'3" and 240 pounds of muscle, with model good looks. He's headed into a seat on Blackwood's back patio, removes a pair of black Celine sunglasses, and rolls up the sleeves of a chambray shirt to reveal the masked tattoos. Accessorized with a special edition Rolex inspired by James Cameron's record-setting deep sea dive. A reminder that I can make a contribution to mankind that's bigger than my career. That's what he says. A tennis bracelet with a string of diamond measuring a carat each, and a killer white smile that could stop traffic. Once Richardson starts answering questions during a conversation that will stretch past 2 hours, he transforms from larger than life action star into who he really is, an unfiltered, faith driven family man who is unafraid to show his scars as a way to fulfill God's wishes and live in service to others. He's always also very funny. Hmm. Like the masks, Alan Richardson is a study in duality. He is devout Christian, but exaggerates the religious hypocrisy. He also swears liberally and admits to past drug use. He is entirely devoted to his family, but can't deny workaholic tendencies that will keep him booked for the foreseeable future on back-to-back projects, with only 6 days off in between, including travel. He is a wall of muscle, but leans into vulnerability and sheds tears at two separate points during an interview in which no question of his is off limits. No subject that is presented gives him pause. His stock is still very much on the rise in Hollywood, but he does not speak in publicists' approved sound bites, nor are there any topics stricken from the record in advance. He goes deep fast to talk about his mental health challenges, a harrowing suicide attempt, and a shocking incident of sexual assault he faced during his modeling days. He's got no whiskey to shill or brand to build other than him being himself. He has stepped into stardom knowing exactly who he is, and those around him have already taken note. He's been putting in the work for a long time, says friend and Fast X co-star Jason Momoa, who calls him a brother. We both share that together because it's not been an overnight success. Jennifer Salke, head of Amazon and MGM Studios, is working closely with Richardson through Reacher, an extended production deal he signed there, and recognizing that his impact extends beyond what he can accomplish on the screens. What makes him unique is that he is very brave and open in talking about mental health. He's a modern leading man in that sense, and he comes to it all so honestly. through life expression, she says. Though it's been tough for him, he will share his story with anybody. Yeah. I mean, he's a good actor, bro. He is a good actor. And he's done a lot, man. But let's see, bro. I'm trying to find. Let's see where is that part that he said of what he's done. But let's see. Let's continue on because it's a long article. This is long. Alan Ritchson was born in Grand Forks, North Dakota, to his parents David and Vicky, and as a middle child between two brothers, it's weird because people there sometimes claim me as our North Dakota celeb, but I was only there for 2 months, he says. That's because his father served in the Air Force and the family was often on the move. From Grand Forks, they went to Guam until Richardson was two, at which time they packed up for Illinois. The summer before Richardson entered fifth grade, his father was transferred to Eglin Air Force Base, the largest in the world located on Florida's Emerald Coast. The Richardsons settled in nearby Niceville, Florida, a small town on Boggy Bayou that opens into Choctawhatchee Bay. While David commuted to the base, Vicky kept a close eye on the boys, but running the school's writing lab. Really, it was an excuse to be right down the hall from our classes, Richardson says. She could prop her head and then make sure that we were delightfully present and not skipping class. Those sharp eyes also kept watch at home, which was strict and faith-filled in following the precepts of the Catholic Church. We went to daily mass. We were altar boys. I was president of the youth group. I was a music minister. We were involved deep. Richard says the rules at home follow that same strict tradition. All right. So just taking a look at my thing here so far. It hasn't messed up yet. Let's keep going. All right. With an austere home life, Richardson found ways to loosen up at school. He leaned into creative tendencies, performing in school musicals and doing improv around the cafeteria, much of it inspired by Jim Carrey. He was my hero, says Richardson. When Ace Ventura came out in 1984, I was in sixth grade and I was enamored. He was so physical, goofy, and unafraid. I'd never seen anything like it. I dressed up as Ace Ventura for 3 Halloweens in a row. I showed up to school and wouldn't break a character the entire time. I had the hair, the business card, and I would walk up to people at their lunch tables and say, "Excuse me, I'd like to ask you a few questions," he says. People hated it, but I loved it that it made most people laugh. Jim Carrey knew how to do that, and it is a gift. Hmm. Bonus: a few years after the release of Ace Ventura, Carrey happened to be in nearby Seaside, Florida, filming Peter Weir's 1998 dramedy The Truman Show. Accompanied by his mom and older brother Eric, Richardson posted up on a lawn near the Steen Town Center with a poster for Carrey to sign. We waited for him to come out of his trailer, and he recalls, my mom spotted him and went, "There he is." I unveiled my poster and said, "Hey, Jim." He looked over and did this big belly laugh by arcing his spine backwards. My brother and I ran over to him, but a security guard was there. He put his hand on a gun and said, "Don't go any closer." Jim was caught in this place when he wanted to sign it but had to go to work. So we just wandered off. That as close as I've gotten. Wow, dude. Well, there's a video, but I'm not gonna watch. Maybe I'll watch the video later after I finish reading this. At late bloomer, Richardson lacked body hair on his legs or arms in high school, a fact that strangely didn't sit well with peers who repeatedly bullied him. to kickstart puberty and called the haters. Richardson threw himself into the gym. He took to working out from the jump. Wait, what the? Oh, Jesus God. I swear. He took to working out from the jump, and by the time senior year rolled around, he was voted best physic of his graduating class. Richardson developed other habits in that period. I started running away pretty early. He says, I was fiercely independent and didn't want my parents paying for anything for me because I felt like it gave them power over me, and I wanted to make my own decisions. He made a big one by buying a used Toyota truck and an air mattress, which he put in the back cab so we can sleep there permanently. I bought that crappy black truck with my own money and I saved up from little jobs. I felt like I deserved it because I paid for my phone, insurance. I put gas in my car. I was good. I was a good kid, but I was also interested in girls, and I didn't understand why I couldn't be out on dates past 9 a.m. Richardson says. I went and lived behind a grocery store in my truck. I slept out there for a long time. After a couple of months, his father turned up at school. He found me in class and said very little, but I could see the pain of our situation in his face. He said, please come home. I was like, all right. I wanted a relationship with him. I just didn't want the rules. Ritchson has always admired his father as a man of integrity during tough times in his childhood. David got a second job in security at the airport to make ends meet, and when he retired as Chief Master Sergeant in 2001, Richardson performed the Star Spangled Banner at the ceremony. Ritchson moved back in with his parents for quite a while until the walls started to close in once more. I ran away again and moved in with a girlfriend whose mom was the coolest mom in the world. I lived at their house for a few months until I could afford to move into the projects. He says of signing a lease in Niceville's subsidized housing, despite appearances, he repeats, I was a good kid. I didn't party, I didn't drink until I was 21. And when I did, it was with my parents. For the record, it was a picture of Sagria at the suggestion of his mother, a decision he immediately regretted. I hated it. My mom was like, that's what alcohol is. Not only was he eager to live on his own, Richardson couldn't wait to get going in college degree. So he pursued a music theater degree before graduating. I started taking college courses in high school, and that led me to take dance classes to the state college. He notes it was during a ballet course that he encountered a young woman named Catherine, who would eventually become his wife. I thought she was a college student, so I was afraid to talk to her. I figured there was no point because she's going to be older than me, but I found out she was doing the exact same thing I was. We finally spoke and then did a play together that summer. We ended up dating and I was madly in love, but she also lived far enough away that when the play was over, I figured we were never going to see each other again. They remained friends. Okay, let me see. Wait, let me get back up here. They remained friends and reconnected years later. In the meantime, after high school graduation, Richardson accepted a full ride to study music and theater arts at Northwest Florida State College in Niceville. But being close to home and having the chance to nurture his passion for performance wasn't enough to hold his attention because he felt stage acting was too small for his ambitions. He dropped out after 2 years and says his parents were furious, but he wasn't stalled for long. Richardson took a job making sandwiches inside a local gas station. One day he caught the eye of a customer who suggested he put his good looks to use as a model. He quickly moved to Miami, where he landed representation at Next Management. The first thing I heard when I walked into the Next office was, "We'll put you to work, but you have to lose weight, get smaller, and you have to shave your armpits hair." He says, I was like, "Shave my armpit hair? I'm a man who waited 19 years for this." Oh man. Plus, I was always. Oh shoot, I messed up. Wrong place. That's right there. There it is. I was always fighting my body's natural desire to be 205 pounds. I would fight it and run and run and run to stay small. I wouldn't use weights. I would do pull ups, push ups, dips, and sit ups in a park. That made me feel like some kind of gross org at 205. The job took Richardson around the world. He modeled for Bruce Weber in his Aber, Abercrombie and Fitch days, did catalog work, and had a stint modeling racy underwear. I did a little bit of runaway, but I was too big for the most of the Millennium runaways. Those guys were like 30 to 35 pounds and built like birds. He quips. Man, this has been a long interview. How far is this? Yeah, this is a long interview, bro. Wow. Shoo. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, that's all of his history, bro. Man. Yeah, this is a lot. Wow, I did not expect it to be this long. But you know what? We got to read it. We got to keep going. So let's just keep it going. So let's see here. Where were we? Where were we? Okay, we passed this. No, no, no. Okay, this is it. Quips. All right, this is where I'm at right now. Let me just. Damn it. Too much. All right. There. Close the player. All right, how long have we been on this? Oh, this is going to be a long interview. All right, let's keep going. Because I'm trying to get to the part that made him what made him do this, what Tom Filton was talking about. It's probably coming up. It's probably coming soon. We just got to keep reading this. So here we go. I asked whether he enjoyed modeling. The conversation gets dark, and Richardson unloads. There are a few redeeming qualities to work in that industry. Let's be honest. It's like legalized sex trafficking. The industry is not regulated, and it's widely known secret that if you're hired on a job, you're basically being passed off to a photographer to be trafficked. The number of times and situations where I was put in horrific environments where sexually abused was the goal and the paycheck that you were desperate for in order to survive was the carrot. I can't count on two hands. It was quite often. He grew to love safe, low-profile gigs, like modeling for one-time department store, Powerhouse, JCPenney. Honestly, that was one of the best chapters for me. Richardson remembers. I know it sounds cheesy, but I would do Sunday catalog shoots to their Texas headquarters. They would hire me once or twice a week. It was like, thank God, because it meant I was finally able to eat a little because they paid $2,500. I fly in, shoot for 30 minutes, and rip through the outfits and go home. Nobody was trying to get you naked and oiled up in the back of a hotel room so they could sexually assault you or threaten you that if you didn't do it, you wouldn't get a campaign. It was an impossible situation for models that could be even worse for women. He acknowledges you're always dancing around this very terrible line of how did I keep the job and not completely offend this photographer, this agent, or whatever set this things up, and how do I not get raped? I completely empathize with women who deal with dynamic power struggles with predatory people in the workplace. It's still unfair, but if I really had to, I could get myself out of whatever room I was in through the physical acceleration. Most women don't have that option. Imagine how terrifying it must be. I asked if he ever found himself in such a situation. Yes, he says. I was working a lot at the time and was one of the highest paid models at the agency. I was booked for a short shot for this very famous photographer. I was sent into a hotel room to do nudes with the promise that if I did the shoot, he would offer me a very lucrative campaign for a magazine and a clothing line. I was sexually assaulted by this guy. I left and drove straight to the agency that I was at in LA. I stormed in and said, "Fuck you for sending me there. You knew that what was going to happen, and you did it anyway." There was a coy smile on this agent's face, knowing he got caught. "It's okay," he said. "Not a big deal. Calm down. I won't send you back there." "I know he's a little aggressive," I said. "No, fuck you." I told them to never call me again. I quit the industry, and it was the last photo shot shoot I ever had. Those pictures were never seen or published. That was it. I swore it and on off, and thank God acting found me at the exact same time I was able to make a switch to a new career, but it left some scars. Jesus Christ, dude. See, Hollywood could be very bad, bro. Hollywood could be sick as fuck, bro. Hollywood could be very, very sick. But let's keep going. Let's just keep going. Ritchson's path to Hollywood involved a pit stop on the iconic reality competition series American Idol. I remember this. I remember him doing this thing. After he failed audition for season two, he made his way to Atlanta to audition for season three by performing Stevie Wonder's "You Are the Sunshine of My Life." Paula Abdul was smitten. She hugged him and refused to let go, and voted yes, as did Simon Caldwell and Randy Jackson. The unanimous vote booked Richardson's ticket to the Hollywood rounds for the season that aired in 2004. Richardson got cut during the round of 32. Fantasia Barrino won the season, but opted to stay in LA and pursue acting. I had buddies there that were going out on stuff, and they would slip me auditions. He said, "I went in for things not knowing what I was doing." All right. Now, he learned along the way, cutting his teeth on the first role he ever got, a meaty part in the 2006 low-budget horror film called The Butcher. Richardson's character meets a bloody fate and gets cut in half by a chainsaw. The role convinced him to keep going. It was a real sign that I was going to be okay. I was going to purely on instincts that at the time that I kept getting lucky. Good fortune to ride with a role on Smallville. Yeah, I never watched the Smallville series. I never got into it, bro. But a lot of people said it was good. So, so he played the role as Arthur Curry, the Aquaman. He appeared on four episodes across multiple seasons, and then came a crushing blow. Richardson was promised a spin-off, but then UPN and the Warner Brothers merged to form the CW, and the network's new boss squashed Richardson's potential star-making vehicle in the middle of negotiations. Like so many actors, he was barely aching out living. I'd be running out of cash, and then some episode I filmed 9 months earlier would air. He says off the lean years, during which time he had a nightmare side hustle, managing an apartment building in Sherman Oaks. Every time I thought I should get a different career, something would come. The universe always had a way of timing it out just right. All right. Ritchson booked his first series regular role on the ranchy college football comedy Blue Mountain State on the now defunct Spike TV. He was determined not to let another big break slip through his fingers. I'm not sure my character was ever supposed to grow on that show. I think he was supposed to be an antagonist character for a season, so I felt like my job was in jeopardy every day. He says I'll playing Thad Castle, a dim-witted, hard-partying jock, not unlike Sean William Scott Stifler from the American Pie franchise. I went into work with an intention to steal every scene and fill every frame in a way to get noticed. That way, my presence would be missed if I wasn't there. He talks it up to create a desperation and a desire to continue on with the show should it get picked up for a second season. I was doing all these things that were distracting, which was not a friendly thing for my castmates. He explained, citing examples like doing a wild Michael Jackson dance in the background. As a result, Richardson was always being reprimanded by directors. I would get yelled at all the time and they would just say, just fucking sit still. With one unnamed director, it escalated into an intense shouting match. Another gave him a gentle reprimand. Jay Chan Treskar from Broken Lizard directed a few episodes and he pulled me aside. He was very patient and honest in saying, listen, the studio and the network warned me that you were very big and tried to steal every scene. They told me to help calm you down. But when the show came out, Richardson proved to be a fan favorite for his balls to the wall performance. All the conflict and tension and pain I was experiencing from getting yelled at paid off because it was right for the audience, which loved how crazy I was. He says, but people don't know the struggle behind the scenes. Blue Mountain State lasted 3 seasons, and Richardson's That Castle inspired 2016 Wild Standalone, The Rise of Thadland, thanks to fans who launched a Kickstarter campaign that raised nearly $2 million. The experience left him with what he described as an inflated sense of self. I became very arrogant creatively. I expected the jobs to roll in and he handed me to me. I was like, I'm the comedian, I'm doing what Ryan Reynolds is doing, and I should be a leading man. My work reflected that attitude. He also said that he used to drive his agents crazy with phone calls talking about the empire he was building. Instead of offers, he got a rude awakening. I auditioned for Thor, and they had been looking for a long time across thousands of actors. I just phoned it in. He reveals it was such a half-assed effort, and I didn't have the craft to back it up. It was my part to lose, and I lost it, and I lose it. Richardson vowed never again to receive the feedback that he didn't have the chops to pull it off. So he auditioned for Thor, huh? Well, I took a break from the business so I could recalibrate. He says of the period, which lasted about 8 months total. I hired an acting coach and we worked on the Thor audition scenes every day until we got it to the point where it was what it should have been. Then he heard about an acting master class taught by veteran casting director Deb Aguilera for young up and concerned comers. Okay, though he admittedly didn't fit the bill because he had enough credits on his resume already, he begged for a shot. She invited me in, but told me that if I goofed off or didn't make it seriously enough, I would be out of the streets on the streets. He says he listened. Not long after joining the class, he watched two students act out a scene. It was a 50-minute exchange featuring only sign language. When it ended, Aguilera began analyzing the performance with input from the actors. I was like, hold on, they talk. They had learned 50 minutes of sign language to perform the most beautiful scene. I was crying watching this drama unfold. It made me realize that I had been this arrogant working actor, and meanwhile, here were these dedicated performers who spent that much time and effort on something that only 15 of us would see. Hmm. Richardson emerged from the class with a whole new arsenal, understanding and appreciation for the craft that began to be reflected in the world he booked in higher profile films and TV shows. Though he missed out on Thor, he dipped his toes in another blockbuster franchise with a supporting role in The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. The Francis Lawrence directed film had a starry world premiere in LA Live in Los Angeles on November 18, 2013. For the occasion, Ritchson dressed like a movie star, borrowing a vibrant green suit from Versailles, which he wore on the same red carpet walked by the film's leads Jennifer Lawrence, Liam Hemsworth, Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Banks, and Stanley Tucci, and guests like Kyle Jenner and Jaden Smith. His wife Kat also attended and was pregnant with one of the couple's three sons. 2 months after the premiere, Richardson accepted an invite from Donatella Versace to attend the Atelier Versace one-way presentation as part of Paris Fashion Week Haute Couture in January 2014. What should have been a glorious opportunity to socialize with the fashion set, guests included Lady Gaga and an A-list designer Riccardo Tisci, turned into a nightmarish flashback to his modeling days. At the runaway show and a VIP dinner afterwards, Richardson was seated next to Mario Testino, one of the industry's most prolific photographers, who later that year shot Vogue covers featuring Beyonce and Amanda Seyfried, a spread featuring Justin Bieber and Kendall Jenner, and a Vanity Fair cover that with Taylor Swift. He wouldn't keep his hands off me, Richardson says. The entire time we were sitting at dinner, he was trying to rub my crotch under the table. I was like, get your hands off me, dude. I live that life with people like you where you feel like you can just have anybody. I'm not an object to you. I'm way past that now, dude. But he was entertained by it. He thought it was the funniest thing. Jesus Christ, dude. Man. Rejection seemed to make Testino more aggressive. Richardson claims, I'm trying to enjoy conversations with the playmakers in industry, and the whole time, he wouldn't leave me alone. I ended up leaving early, but he called my hotel room later that night and begged me to come over. He said, I've never Googled someone right after meeting them. What have you done to me? My car is out front. Then he said he loved manly men, because they kick harder. He was disappointed that I wouldn't come to his place. Richard says, adding that Testino went so far as to offer him a cover of Vogue if he slept with him that night. I was like, I don't give a shit about the cover of Vogue. I don't give a shit about whatever opportunity you want to dangle in front of me. 4 years later, almost to the day, New York Times published an explosive investigation that detailed allegations of sexual misconduct by testimonial and Bruce Weber. 15 male models who worked with Weber and 13 male assistants and models who worked with Testimonial came forward with claims of sexual misconduct and coercion. I've had problems with both of them, says Ritchson, who recalls seeing the investigation at the time it was published in early 2018, months into the tidal wave of Me Too claims that surfaced following exposures about Harvey Weinstein published by the Times and the New Yorker to late 2017. Some of the stories were just like mine. I was just starting to build a platform and get my voice in the business, and I wondered, should I say something because of all the stories that those models were telling me were my own? It's all true. Reps for both photographers denied the claims to the New York Times at the time of publication. The Hollywood Reporter reached out to Testino and Weber but did not hear back as they passed time. Jesus, this guy went through a lot, dude. Motherfuck, dude. After the Paris incident, Richardson returned to Los Angeles to capitalize off his momentum. He appeared in episodes of Black Mirror and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, starred as a series regular on Sci-Fi's B-movie The Style Blood Drive, gave Raphael a voice in the animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows, played an MMA fighter opposite Megan Fox and Olivia Thirlby in Above the Shadows, and joined the DC Universe as Hank Hall in the small screen series Titans. He expanded his resume by doing behind the scenes work as a producer and arranging financing for projects and mounting a debut as a filmmaker. With the hacker thriller Dark Web Cicado 3301, it was a time of tremendous success as his skill set proved valuable to deep-pocketed individuals. He noticed that one such unnamed individual was being taken advantage of during the post-production process, so he stepped in to bail them out free of charge. The goodwill sparked a partnership on a film fund that together they hoped to grow into a prestigious Annapurna type brand. Their work took them to the Cannes film market, which coincides with the film festival every May, in search of international deals. After a day of meetings, Richardson dropped his female partner at a luxury hotel, the famed Hotel du Cap, Eden Rock. Before exiting the car, she fired off a threat. She gave me an ultimatum to come to her room and say that if I didn't, she would destroy the business and she would destroy me by calling TMZ to claim sexually assaulted her. Details the actor who was blindsided. Hmm. Sheesh. Oh shoot. Let me see how much more I got left. All right, so I'm right. Let me see where I was at. All right, so I'm right here, so I got to remember that. All right. Yeah, man, that's it right there. Man, this guy suffered a lot, dude. This guy suffered a lot in his life, but right now, I want to know what is going on with him, what has happened now that what we just seen. So, but this is something that I gotta look at, bro. I just wish this did not happen to what he just did, bro. But this is something that I gotta look at. I have to learn. I gotta know about this guy. All right, all right. Let me see how long this video's been, bro. Man, look at this. I gotta go to sleep, dude. Look at this. 45 minutes. Wow. Damn, I've been reading a lot. All right, I gotta try to make this quick, bro. Damn, this is a lot. Okay. The threat arrived. He had been working upwards of 20 hours a day to fit in acting jobs while building a financing business. It was really disappointing and became a perfect storm. He continues upon returning to the States. He retained counsel and prepared for battle, though nothing came from her threats. It did, however, lead to the demise of their business and sparked an existential crisis for the actor. It really broke me in that moment, and it took me a while to recover. I was super depressed, and I didn't know how to navigate that. At home in Encino, where he lived with his wife and their sons, he tried to focus on other projects. At the time, he was in production on Dark Web, Cicada 3301, which he co-wrote, directed, produced, and starred in, but he grew despondent. I was reeling from the fallout and the fatigue, and it got to the point where I was stuck in bed for weeks. My wife and kids were concerned, and I could see confusion in their eyes. Nobody knew that what was wrong. He explains he credits DJ Viola and one of the film's producers who was happened to be a director for stepping up to save the project. He saw me completely falling and so he set up a editing bay next to my bed. He would directly edit and point at the monitoring my way. I hated myself for being in that position, but his patience saved the day. He says, his eyes filling up with tears. Sometimes you just need someone to pull the chair up next to your bed, bro. So, yeah, he went through a lot, dude. This guy went through a lot in his time. While the movie found a lifeline, Richardson was still suffering and sinking further into a dark place. One day in 2018, he couldn't take it. He went to the attic where he had built a loft to double as a treehouse for a short film he directed. He found a green extension cord and climbed to the top. Richardson tossed the cord over the rafters, wrapped it tightly around his neck, and let go. I hung myself. It all happened so fast. I was dangling there. He attributes what happened next to divine intervention. His sons, who are now 11 and 10 and 8 years old, appeared in a vision from the future in their mid-30s, just a few years younger than he was at the time. They calmly asked me not to do it, and told me that they wanted me to be here, alive and part of their lives. Ritchson credits his experience doing a million pull-ups in his life for being able to pull himself up before he lacked out. The intensity of what had occurred prompted him to call a doctor immediately. I was diagnosed as bipolar right after he says of receiving the news at age 36. ADHD was a later revelation at age 40. It took a minute to process, and then his behavior over the many months and years made sense. All the ups and downs and periods of mania had an explanation, but it wasn't immediate. First, he told the doctor to fuck off and stormed out, only to get as far as the parking garage before he turned around. Deep down, I was comforted to know, okay, there's a name for this. I walked back to the office, and he didn't miss a beat. I'm sure he had liked 300 patients over the years to do that exact same thing. Jesus. Jesus Christ, dude. Damn, is this part of why he went like this? What he just did right now? I don't know. So let's keep reading. Following a dark few months, a friend suggested that Richardson and his wife Kat head to Las Vegas on an adventure to reconnect as a couple and do MDMA. I had never done drugs, but I was truly like, well, I might kill myself tomorrow. What do I have to lose? So I did it. I swear to God, the biggest light bulb went off, and it rewired my brain in the best way. MDMA is a proven therapy to treat PTSD in veterans, and it's something that can work in cognitive therapy settings. Richardson confirms the moment it hit, I looked at my wife. We had not really seen each other in a long time because I was just missing things around me. I said, "We are one. We are one," over and over again. I held her and we talked about suicide. And she's like, "Please don't do this to us." I kept saying, "I won't, I won't." But the problem is, I loved it and wanted to do it every day. She never did it again for me for a year or two. It became like therapy. It allowed me to write and be productive. Thankfully, I was able to move past it. Jeez. He says he simply crowded it out when his life ballooned with obligations, responsibilities, and more work. I came out that whole thing asking myself, okay, if I'm going to choose to be alive here, a decision will we all make, some to be greater, some to a greater degree than others. What I am doing, why I'm here, what I kept falling back on what was meaning and purpose of life as someone who believes that there is a creator and we are created beings. Our purpose in life is without qualification to make the world a better place and serve others. That is what life is all about. Jeez, this guy went through a lot, dude. Man, he got sexually assaulted. Damn, dude, this guy went through a lot in his life, dude. Okay, Richardson's Anthony shifted his focus to more professionally fulfilling work. Entered Reacher. British writer Jim Grant, now 69, was a late bloomer himself who published his first novel, Killing Floor, in 1997, under the pen name Lee Child. The thriller introduced the world to Jack Reacher, a former major in the United States Army Military Police Corps, every year since. Child has dropped a new Reacher mystery that finds the brooding introvert roaming the country and pitching in to investigate mysterious situations, usually plummeting bad guys along the way. The way the story goes, Child, along with the producers at Skydance, were hoping to zero in on an actor who matched the character's dimensions. A hulking presence at 6'5" and 250, more closely than 5'7" Tom Cruise, who played Reacher in 2012's film and 2016 sequel. Yeah, Tom Cruise played a good role. Man, he's 5'7"? Damn, I'm 5'7". Damn. Holy shit. I didn't even know that about Tom Cruise. But he's a good actor, Tom Cruise. I give him that. An extensive casting process ensued. It took a fair amount of time. Recalls Amazon Studios to Chief Sulk. Everyone was passionate about finding somebody who called physically embodied Jack Reacher. This very unique character, they placed a really high bar on that physicality, but at the same time, they didn't want to in any way compromise with the level of actor and performance that we would get. Name actors were floated, but the teams remained open to breaking someone new. Saki notes Ritchson auditioned, and as he remembers it, the scene in question didn't have a lot of dialogue, classic Reacher. So he tried to give as much possible through the eyes by channeling another unhinged type, a character called Drifter from Kevin Costner's Waterworld, played by the veteran character actor Kim Coates. Richardson didn't get that part, but neither did anyone else months later. They went back through the tapes, he continues, and apparently they saw energy and a level of compassion in my eyes. It was another 8-month fight to win the part. Oh, shit. If a battle existed on the other side of the table, Salk didn't say. Lee, Skydance, and creator Nick Santoro got really excited by the possibility of Alan. The minute I saw his audition, I was really thrilled from the moment I looked at it. I remember this very clearly. He had everything. He had the stature, for sure. He's got the sparkle behind the eyes. He has the intelligence and the complexity of the character. He was delivering so many layers of the performance. Jack Reacher is sometimes a character of few words, but you can never feel like he's got nothing going on. I always feel like a really rich inner life emanates of Alan as an actor. Reacher was a one-away hit straight out of the gate, snagging a spot on the top of the streaming charts, a first for Amazon Prime's video. The streamer reported that it was among the most watched series debuts ever, ranking up to 1.84 billion minutes of watch time during its debut week. Within days, it was renewed for a second season. Within months, Amazon locked Ritchson in under a three-picture deal. Ritchson responded to the near immediate success of Reacher by doubling down on the commitment to be the best, number one on the call sheet that he could be. To me, Richu has and always will be a fight to prove that they made the right decision on set. I am always thinking, how can I work hard enough to make them feel good? It'll never go away, he says. What got me ready for Reacher was all the losses that I took on early on. Hard work hasn't always been easy. The schedule for season one was so intense that it almost broke me. He recalls adding that something in him actually did shatter. I think I was overtraining and I broke a bone quite badly in my shoulder. I just knew there was something wrong with it when I couldn't even get my hand up during one of the fights. I would also get fatigued easily, he details. The second we finished filming, I had a doctor's appointment. After checking out the broken shoulder, we noticed that everything was off, including my testosterone levels. Richardson says the doctor put him on a testosterone, something a lot of action stars would never confirm. Look, I'm 41 now. Even without the stress of major television show, your body stops producing as much. But as men, we need it. It's responsible for a lot of mechanics in our body. It's a mood stabilizer. It helps build lean muscle and engages those synapses. I built my body for Reacher in season one without any of that. It never even occurred for me that that was a possibility. Being on testosterone, it just makes all those things easier. Building muscle, staying healthy, repairing your body, staying lean. Why would I keep that a secret? Damn, this is one of my longest videos, man, that I ever did. All right, let me take a look at my, got some texts. Let me see. This one, Gary. Okay. All right. All right, let's go. He also opened about the windfall that came as a result of Reacher's success. Richardson estimates he received upwards of 40 offers after this show's debut. He was ready to strike while the iron was hot. But in a strategic way, I am very selective about what I do, says a process that led him to Richie's ungently manly warfare and a surprise online meet and greet. We got on Zoom. He was in London and I was in Toronto filming. and we just talked about barbecues, grilling steaks, his favorite pub. We just got to know each other as two dudes for 45 minutes. He says, I kept thinking, when is the question going to come about the movie and what we are going to do? At the end, he said, I really like you. I think we can have a great fun together. Do you want to do a movie with me? Of course, I said that I would love to. He's a legend. A couple weeks later, an offer comes in for Anders Lassen. Based on the book by Damian Lewis, the story follows a covert organization formed in 1940 at the urging of Prime Minister Winston Churchill and aimed at the secret mission to take down the Nazis. Richardson co-stars with Henry Cavill, Goling, Itzia Gonzalez, Alex Petier, and Hero Fin Stefan. Playing Lesson offered the chance to become the baddest dude I've ever seen on by paper in my life. Richardson says, it was the greatest gift I ever received, though the film is highly fictionalized take on the covert mission. Richardson's character is modeled after a real-life Danish soldier who was especially skilled with a bow and arrow. When I wasn't filming Reacher, I would go with Ryan Taran, my stunt double, to archery ranges and learn how to become an archer. I hired a dialect coach, Ria Lolan, to help develop the accent. He poured himself in the work. I wrapped a night school on Saturday morning in Toronto and was scheduled to be filming with Guy on Monday in Turkey. He says, by the time I landed, I was an archer and had the script memorized, but then on the first day, somebody came to fetch me for the meeting with Guy in his trailer. Henry Cavill was there, and they were talking about the scene work for that day. A little confused, I said, "Wait, what are we doing now?" They said, "Forget the script. We're not shooting the script. We're going to come up with something better." Oh, dude. Ritchson, who had grown accustomed to being over-prepared for everything, learned to go with the flow. It was a blast, he says. This is the coolest movie and one of Guy's best in a long time. Cavill, too, had some compliments near ready to tell. I'm a big fan of what Alan brings to set and to a room. He's always on time. He works hard and puts the extra time in that is required for tricky challenges like fight scenes. Not to mention, he is also very good at them. He tells THR. The film opens April 19th, and Richardson won't have much time to celebrate. He's shooting the action comedy Playdate, starring opposite Kevin James for director Luke Greenfield, and will soon segue to a lead role opposite of Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Man with the Bag for. Oh, the man. Oh, he's going to be doing it with Arnold Schwarzenegger. In late March, it was announced that he's teaming with rival streamer Netflix on War Machine for writer-director Patrick Hughes' The Hitman's Bodyguard. Richardson says his upcoming slate is a chock-full for at least the next couple years, with the most 6 days off in between projects, including travel. Among them, it is reported Blue Mountain State revival, and of course more Reacher and more Amazon. When Playdate wraps on April 19th, Richardson heads back to Toronto for continued filming on Reacher's third season, which is based on Child's seventh novel, Persuader. He's got movies in the works with us, series ideas. It's not about the volume, but about picking a few really special things, Saki says. We'll have Alan as long as he will play Jack Reacher. No end in sight for that. Hopefully, that's for a very, very, very long time. I owe it to the audience to explore as many of these books as my body would allow, and I owe it to the people who took a shot on me when I was a huge risk for them. They have given me a real career. Coño, man. But let's see, but we gotta read the part where he ruined himself, man. Money is coming in, but Richardson says that after all he's seen and been through, that's not his focus. I'm very well taken care of. Amazon especially has really shown their commitment to our future together with our deals and what we have. I've got deals with our other studios around town that have been very lucrative, but I've come to learn that it's not what matters most. I try to keep my eyes fixed on opportunities to serve others. It's faith, family, mental health, business practices, all of it's sort of prioritized in the right way that it can work together well in concert. He also takes the opportunity to quote his one-time idol in his own way. Jim Carrey said that he hopes everybody gets as rich as they dream, and then they realize that that's not what life is about. Man, I've probably been. This has like been an hour, bro. But dude, oh my god, I should have streamed this damn thing, bro. If I would have known about this was gonna be a long interview, I thought it was gonna be short. But damn, I could have done this an hour. But my god, dude, well, at least I'm almost done. So I'm right here, that 2 section 3. All right, I'm right at the end, thank God. But man, this has been interesting, bro. Ritchson went viral a few months back when an Instagram photo from the summer 2020 resurfaced showing him walking a dog in a t-shirt that read, "Arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor." There it is. A 26-year-old black woman was shot and killed by police in her Louisville, Kentucky apartment as part of a botched drug raid operation. It whipped up a frenzy among social media users because of Reacher's appeal among conversations and the armed forces. As with every question he fields, Ritchson is quick and unguarded in his response. "That was a tragic case," he says. "Cops get away with the murder all the time, and the fact that we can't really hold them accountable for their improprieties is disturbing to me. We should completely reform the way we would do it. I mean, you shouldn't have to spend more time gaining an education as a hairstylist than as a cop who's armed with a deadly weapon. We should make it very hard for people to make mistakes or abuse power in our institutions." Alan, bro. Alan, why did you do that, bro? You should have never fucking caught yourself like that, bro. Anything looking good for you, buddy? No matter how busy he remains in paid acting gigs, he's finding time to stay on camera for a volunteer hobby he calls Insta Church, a video series he posts on Instagram and then a dedicated YouTube channel. Before he started posting the freewheeling clips, which finds Ritchson exploring scripture and how it relates to daily life and his work as an actor. He warned his wife, "I told her that it could be the last time I worked in this business." He explains of worries that he would be shunned in Hollywood for speaking so openly about religion and faith, but he couldn't help himself. "I'm a Christian quite simply because of what Jesus calls us to do. Love other people until death. It doesn't mean we're all to be hung on a cross, but how can I suffer for you? That is a beautiful thing." All right, that's the video, which we're not going to watch. Now, let's see this. That simple message, he says, has become twisted in today's fraught political landscape. Christians today have become the most virulent tribe. It is so antithetical to what Jesus was calling us to be and to do. He explains it also upsets him that some Christians have so closely aligned with former President Donald Trump. Trump is a racist and a con man, and yet the entire Christian church seems to treat him like he's their poster child, and it's unreal. I don't understand it. His mother remains unstantially Catholic, but he quickly swats away any associations. It's worth saying that the atrocities that are happening in the church that are being actively covered up, even to this day, but the people not being held accountable. It is repulsive, he says, as the tenor of his voice changes. I can't for 1 second support the Catholic Church while there are still cardinals, bishops, and priestesses being passed around with known pedophobic tendencies. This is it. This is the part I wanted to read. Okay. Don't expect him to be seated in any pews anytime soon, but he will continue his Insta Church series while delivering unexpected content across his social media platforms. Whether that be shirtless shots, behind the scenes clips from whatever set that happens to be on, or showing off his pipes like he did recently by singing a few bars of R&B classic Week from Girl Gossip's SWV. The clip shared to his 2.7 million followers on Instagram went viral and has been viewed nearly 8 million times. There will also likely be more ink to showcase. It probably won't be full sleeves because he likes the pieces to stand on their own and not blend into one another. It's storytelling, he says. Plus, he doesn't want to look like anyone else. I am super prone to be a glitch. It's my greatest wish in life that I am not predictable. Damn, dude. All right. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it right here. All right. So, oh my God. Alan, I feel you, bro. You went through a lot, dude, but you should never put that out there, bro. You should never did that to yourself, bro. I'm still gonna watch that movie, Unjust to the Ministry. I'm still gonna watch it, bro. Alan Richardson, look, I'm gonna get this. Alan Richardson is a good actor. He's a good actor. I'm not against that, but I just don't like what he said about Trump. Alan. I'm gonna say this right now, bro. If you are watching this, bro, if you truly are watching this, bro, I'm a Catholic, bro, and I'm not against any Christian. I'm not against anybody, bro. But you gotta understand, dude. Who would you rather have? You rather have Joe Biden? Look what he's done to this country for 4 fucking years, bro. Think about that, man. What you said was wrong. What you said about Christians was wrong, dude. You'll probably won't say it now, but you'll probably admit it down the road. But that's your choice. I won't judge you for that, bro. But you know, but I don't know, man. This this is this is a bit of a turn for you, bro. Right now, let's see what this does. What you just said right now, let's see how this goes. Because, we're going to see, bro. But just do me a favor, Alan. Do your homework, bro. Don't listen to the fake news, bro. Don't listen too much of that fake news. You want to watch real news, bro? Go to Newsmax or Real American Voice, bro. Those are your two news networks that you should try watching, dude. Forget NBC, forget CBS, forget CNN, forget those fake news networks, bro. They are fake, fake, fake. Fox is mediocre, but Real American Voice and Newsmax, watch those, man. Or go on YouTube or go on Twitter and read the articles that what people have been talking about, bro. Or listen to other YouTubers like myself, you know. Anyways, bro. Shout out to let me get this one more time so I can give him the credit. Yeah, damn it, I lost it just now. Yeah. Shout out to Tom Fitton out there for bringing out that article, bro. Shout out to you, man. If you like this video, hit the like button. Share this video. Post a comment below. And tell me what you guys think about this article that I read for Alan Ritchson. It was long, but he had a history of what happened to him, bro. And then with this situation that he just put himself into right now, you tell me what you guys think. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, man. It will mean a lot to my channel. Anyways, guys, hope you have a good night. And stay tuned for more. All right. Bye, everyone.